podcast should we like?
You introduce us, man. It's your show.
I mean, I've never had a clear introduction. It
just goes into it.
Yeah.
First time in Downers Grove, how do you feel?
It feels like I'm in a different part of the city. It's kind of weird. I mean, it looks the same. There's houses and buildings. Nothing to it.
I mean, yeah, but it's your first time being like outside of like, you know, Mayberry right now.
Out of what?
Out of Mayberry.
I don't get the reference.
Mayberry is like, it's that town from like the Andy Griffin show where nothing went wrong, everything went right, and even the bad guys like turned themselves in because they felt bad for being a bad guy.
I've never seen that show in my life.
Well, I mean, I've never actually seen the show either, but that's kind of like
is that the town they live in?
Yeah, it's the town they live in. Mayberry kind of represents like the utopia, perfect suburb. Everyone had like a picket white fence and
like a Downers Grove.
No, definitely not like Downers Grove.
Okay.
But you live in the type of that because you've never been to the other side of the world, apparently.
I've been around the world.
I mean, you've never been to Downers Grove? Have you been to the south side?
No. I've been, but ask me when was the last time I went.
When was the last time you went?
Can't recall it.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
But I mean, it's like there's no need for me. There's nothing for me to go down there for.
It doesn't matter. You need to know your city. Have you been to the west side?
Like what?
See, you don't even know what the west side is.
Where I live is the west side. Essentially, the west side.
No, where you live is the northwest suburbs, bruh.
Hey, don't be saying that, dude.
I'm just saying.
I live in the city, alright, guys. I live in Chicago. I don't live in the suburbs.
Yeah, because your address falls on the other side. Your address falls on the other side of the street.
That might be true, but it's still considered Chicago.
I mean,
what's in the south side?
Your city is the third largest city in the country.
But that's the thing. This is not even my city. Cali, Colombia is my city.
When was the last time you were there?
2011, 12.
Okay, cool. When was the last time you lived there?
Oh, I was maybe 2 years old back in '93.
The fact that you went back before the new millennium.
But I was born there, so forever in my life, it will be my city.
That would be your city.
This is my second home. You could call it my second home, my second city.
But this is your
where I grew up. Yes, I grew up in Uptown. So look, I'm gonna give you guys a little info about me. I grew up in Uptown. I got brought here. Uptown. Yeah, I mean, whole family. We lived in this apartment building where now, literally, Loyola owns all those buildings.
So do.
But where some of my family still lives in that apartment complex. It's called Uptown.
Right.
And even though Loyola is, it's a big school, one of the best schools in the country, around Loyola is still bad, which is considered Uptown. So, I mean, I grew up there, and then I got brought out to not the suburbs, but to the outer city, to the outer city of Chicago. Why? Because,
across the street from a city that rhymes with porridge.
I like that.
I'm bad.
That's good. That's good.
Now the kind of thing. Now here's the thing that kind of flipped that over. I used to work over by Uptown, so I kind of know like how that's going. I think I used to work over there like 2010 or 2009. 2010.
Well, it's gotten better now.
Yeah,
like, now it's upscale.
Oh
now,
yeah, definitely.
I'm talking about when I was growing up, like for kindergarten or almost halfway through first grade.
Right.
Like there was things as a little kid.
My point is, I've been there.
Okay.
I've been there, I've been here, I've been to the south side, I've been to the west side, I've been to the city, I've been to all these places within and around Chicago. You, which has technically like your second city, but you've been here longer than you've been to Columbia.
That's a fact.
But you haven't explored your town, your city. You don't even know and that's the kind of thing that
and trust me, you're not. I'm gonna be 100% honest. You're not the first person to say this.
But here's the thing about that though.
Shout out Starbucks.
A lot of people
free drink today.
A lot of people, especially from the north side, this is a perception of environment. A lot of people from the north side usually don't venture outside of the north side. and unfortunately, that's kind of the case. And you're right. Like, there's really no reason for you to like leave or to go anywhere else because you guys have everything there.
Like I would understand if I worked there, or if I had family, but like there's nothing for like. What am I gonna do? Just cruise around the South Side? Not saying that it's nothing bad. I mean, it's more crime heavy. Yes. Is that a lack of me going there? No. I mean, there's nothing. If there was a reason for me to be there, I would be there. You know what I mean?
But that's also like someone from the South Side saying, well, I have no reason to go to the North Side because...
Well, in that point, it's wrong because in the North Side, there's more things here.
What?
There's more... I mean, North Side is downtown. People need to go... There's more stuff in downtown. Is that correct or no?
No. Wait, say it again. There's more stuff downtown than the North Side. Downtown and the North Side are two different places.
Okay, North Side would be Wrigleyville.
Yeah. North side is Wrigleyville. Downtown
and literally Wrigleyville to downtown is what, 15-minute drive on Lakeshore Drive?
Yeah, it's the same 15-minute drive going south. And 15 minutes away from downtown is Soldier Field.
Which I've been around.
The Sox Stadium. This is like that was going like super far west. So like Chicago's like right here, and then the north side where he's talking about is up here. South side where I'm talking about is over here. Downers Grove is like way out here. So I mean it's a drive. But anyway, but there's so much.
The disrespect of these people,
they're fine.
Not knowing that we're shooting the most epic. This is a pre-podcast moment.
Right, but the interesting thing about the South Side that people don't understand is that either they neglect to they neglect to find out, or they just truly ignorant of the fact that the South Side has so much history, so much. Listen. So much history, so much, and it's culturally rich with so many things that are going on down there. People don't even know half the crap that goes on down there.
What, like Little Village?
Huh?
Like Little Village?
Yeah, it's like Little Village.
Is that Southside?
Yeah, it's kinda. It's like in this
Little Village. For those who don't know Chicago, it's literally
it's Southwest.
A part of Mexican. A part of Mexico being ripped off Mexico and thrown in the middle of Chicago.
But that's the beauty.
Am I right or no?
You're right.
Okay.
But the beauty of Little Village is that we're allowed to have that space for people.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm not saying nothing wrong.
No. I'm
just saying. I was just
Yeah, but it's like Little Village is like the southwest side of Chicago, and the thing about Chicago that we're really linear in our descriptions. Like the west side is like purely west. You can't be like northwest. You can't be southwest. South side is purely south. You can't be like back and forth. You can't be on the east side or the west side of that. And going north is purely north. It's really like in a straight line. You can't be like diagonal because you're really not part of that culture. But there's so much crap that goes on, on the west side too. Our president is from the south side. There's so many people come from the south side. Like most of the newspapers, or even like many of the articles online about Chicago, they mention so much about the north side, like Wrigleyville, Edgewater, River North, places like that. And it's like, oh man, it's Chicago's so great because you have all these places. You can go to the bar.
If people watching this around the world, and people even watching this at a different state, when they think of Chicago, they think of a thing such as Chirac, or they think negative because that's the only stories being shown. Right. But
here's the dividing line behind that.
All right,
the reason why you haven't been around that because you don't go to where it happens.
But okay, so why would I put myself in that situation?
Because it's not that you
see the scenery of it.
It's not because you put yourself in that situation because you want to put yourself in danger.
Okay.
The thing is involuntarily neglect that whole side of the city. Okay. It's like saying I understand you understand that there's danger in that area, and because you don't want to get messed up, you wouldn't want to purposely go there. But even just because you don't want to go there, you can't neglect that it exists.
No, that's true. I mean,
and I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying that's kind of unfortunately, that's kind of like the stereotype of the north side. It's just that, we have everything up north, so there's no reason to go out south or go on the west side. And it's not necessarily true. There are a lot of shootings on the south side, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of other stuff going on too.
So tell me about the other things then.
Well, there was downtown on the south side, so many different clubs and.
But when you're saying south side, are you talking about downtown south?
No, when I'm talking about south. I'm talking about Bronzeville. I'm talking about Hyde Park. I'm talking about South Shore. I'm talking about Inglewood. I mean, the places that on the news like, oh my God, there's so many shootings, which is true. But at the same time, all these bad places that are singled out because it does happen, there's like 5 times more good stuff coming out of those same places.
Which is good.
Yeah, but you don't hear about them. All we know is, if I say Inglewood, if I say Inglewood, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Derrick Rose.
Second thing comes to your mind.
Like half, no joke, like everybody who's in the NBA to date that is coming from Chicago is from Inglewood. So that just, that's just a fun fact.
Right.
But no, it's usually, if you hear Inglewood, it's like the compared to like California, like Compton of Chicago. If you were to compare that,
it's kind of like the Compton of Chicago.
When he says that, you see the wheels turning right there.
But at the same time, and so this is the bigger thing that we're fighting against. We're not saying, I can't like fault you for not going to a certain area of the city. That's not a nitpick. I'm not talking about that. There's a culture-driven presence that you're
saying that I'm missing out on.
Yes and no. You're missing out on the South Side culture because that's a whole. I mean, you can literally.
Well, the way you're making it sound is like you're making it sound like Chicago's 2 different complete sides.
That's what I was just gonna say that. Like, you can literally split Chicago in half and call these 2 different cities. Okay. I mean, it is almost like that. And the west and south side of Chicago get lost within the mix because the north side is predominantly white. But we just came from New City, which is on like North and Clybourne up on the north side. Really, really nice. It's like movie theaters, restaurants, something like that. I wish
it's upscale,
yeah, I wish they would put one of those in Woodlawn, which is on the south side by like 63rd and like Cottage Grove, which is notoriously, not gang-ridden, but you hear a lot of shots over there. You hear a lot of drugs over there.
Me as a businessman, if that is what's going in the environment, one or two things. Why would I put that there? And 2, there's actually just one point. Like, why would I put it there? If I was a businessman and I look at this area, let's say there's a lot, right? But I know the community's bad and it's predominantly, let's say, lower class. Why would you put something that nice?
Who do you value, money or people?
You value
as a businessman, and that's the problem because money. You stuttered, and because the truth.
You got me, guys.
No. It's okay. And you answered correctly. The truth of the matter, the businessman is more worried about money because he's a businessman. The problem with that is
you mean I'm a business man? Shout out Jazzy.
Yeah. You made me lose train of thought. Because you're a businessman, your main goal is to make more money, which is all business people, and that's perfectly fine. The problem is most people sacrifice persons for the money. And so for for the sake of like the west and south side, a lot of people, because they're predominantly either colored people, black, Latino, or anybody, Asian.
Korea. Is Chinatown?
Chinatown is technically south. Okay. I mean, I've been to Chinatown. It's across the street from what's the name? It's across the street from Soldier Field. It's not that far, but it's technically south. Okay. But at the same time, a businessman wouldn't want to invest in something that's going to bring back poor investment. But the idea that colored people are a poor investment, that has to change. Because now you're neglecting.
See, there you're sparking an idea.
Right, because you're neglecting genuine people who have the capacity to do better and be better, the ability to do better, because you think that they can't be better. I see. And that's a cultural problem. And so that's why a lot of people in Chicago, at least from the media, portrays Chicago in 2 different ways. North side, awesome, great.
You gotta give us a side. There's a
train coming up. Got it. Businessman typically wouldn't put a business on the south side, because a businessman is interested in his money rather than people. And when a business, not a business person, but when a business values money over people, you neglect the people the ability to be better because you're not giving them a chance to invest in themselves. We got all this great stuff, we're hip, we're cool, we're fashionable, Global Square, Wicker Park, all these awesome places. But then you go to the South Side and it's like, oh well, you don't want to go to Inglewood, you don't want to go to Woodlawn, you don't want to go to Bronzeville. When if you think about it, like majority of the jazz was down there, the majority of like the clubs were down there, the majority there were like some,
you say clubs?
Yeah, but you wouldn't even know because a lot of people focus on the
I've been to 26th Street.
That's cool.
The South Side.
It is. But
I'm not even gonna lie, the time I went down there for a club, we had parked our car in the back, quick sidebar story, and dude literally was about to shank another guy. I guess it was like some gang member affiliation, and I was like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here.
Well, I mean, but that's...
Ask me if I've been back to that club.
I'm not gonna ask you. But that's the thing, like they're like that's kind of like the issue with that, and so
If that's another train, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, it's another train. Oh, it's a long one too. I can tell.
Oh god. Yeah. This conversation for me just not going to the South Side, but like I get your point, but like I still don't think I'm gonna be down.
You don't have to. It's not a matter for you to go and to like explore, but it's a
thought.
It's a stigma.
Mm.
Many people think like that. And most people.
So you're saying I'm not the only one?
No.
Okay.
It's a culture thing, and on the flip side, the South Side people don't go to the North Side. They have no reason. Well, why I gotta go up there? I mean, I can get all I need. Everything's so expensive up there. I can go to the dollar, the gas station down the street, and get me, a T-shirt for $1.
Mm.
And so I don't have to go to what's the name?
Macy's.
Yeah, and give me the same T-shirt from the same company for $25.
True.
So I mean, what's the point? And so there's an inward civil war.
See, the great thing of talking to you, you see that difference because you've experienced it.
Right.
Exactly.
And you haven't. So that limits your
different world.
No, but it limits your worldview. And so,
I wouldn't say that.
Well, technically, because you could you have the conversation by yourself? Would you have known to say this stuff? And so
you could say checkmate if you want.
And so because of that, but the thing is because of the lack of experience, or at least the lack of knowledge in that area, you have a hard time empathizing with people. You have a hard time relating to people. Oh, I know what you're going through because I've been there. I've seen what you're going through. Okay. And so now we're talking about relationships, where that's
a whole different story. We're not even going to touch.
No. I mean, it's really quick. People need to relate to each other, but people need to know how to relate to each other. And because there's so much difference in general, but especially now when everyone's defenses are on 10, it's hard to say, like, have a regular conversation without me inadvertently offending you for something that I said in passing that was out of context. And so it's hard to like have a conversation about these type of things. Okay. Unless the two people already had a relationship beforehand. But the relationship requires accepting the other person's point of view.
You meet some guy in the south to the north, there's no difference. The guys but let's say if I go up to New York, or let's say I go down to Florida, that's when you see a culture shock. And that's when because Chicago has a stigma of like everybody wants to be themselves, everybody wants to have a bright light to themselves, they want to play it down. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So a lot of people are stuck up. I'm not going to lie, a lot of girls are stuck up, and that's true. And they know they're stuck up.
And so the stuck-upness of Chicago comes from the built-up walls that we have within the city. Mm. And so that's why...
We're dropping a lot of facts today.
So that's why a lot of people aren't willing to relate to each other. Because depending on either where you're coming from, what you look like, how you're talking, you may be bad for me. You may do me wrong.
That's a complete fact.
From a black point of view, if you're a white person, you may be racist and you may try to put me down, or try to do something bad to me.
Or you might try to rob me.
Flip that around. If I'm a white person looking at a black guy, because I already have my stuff together, you may try to rob me for what I worked hard for. And so there's unspoken fear among the two different like cultures that weren't there to begin with. But that's perception. That's not necessarily a reality because of what someone else told you. Those are all learned things. Yeah. Until now, those become real when they manifest, and unfortunately those things do happen. But at the same time, those things, it's almost like those things happen because people expect it to happen. So you're kind of like in a paradox where I don't want this bad thing to happen, but because I don't want this bad thing to happen, it is going to happen because I don't want it to happen.
Okay.
From both sides of the spectrum. Now that includes the what's the name, the Muslim, Arabic communities, the Latino community, the Asian community, the Oriental community, the Middle East community. All these different sectors and bodies of people have the same inadvertent fears of or trying to protect their culture because they think someone's gonna be out to get them, and it shouldn't be like that. When people are regular people and they want to be understood, want to relate to other people, want to share, but can't because of one or two bad apples that decided to like be greedy and get more than they could handle. And so in Chicago, there's a barrier. And so the quote-unquote stuck up is a manifestation of a mental barrier that they put around themselves to protect themselves.
Wow. Just
makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it didn't make sense, you guys are... Wow.
But that happens...
No, I completely understand.
But that happens in so many different parts
like
of the
my mind
country.
right now inside, if I could zoom into my brain, it just exploded.
You should do that one day.
It literally...
Just hit zoom in and just have it go all the way in.
It literally just blew my... I mean...
Bioshocks that happen across the nation, and you start to see these inadvertent fears being realized that aren't necessarily real. Like, a couple weeks ago, either a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, I heard or I read an article that there was a noose found on DePaul campus, and so that is a real thing. That really happened.
What?
A noose, the thing that they hang people with.
Oh, okay.
The rope.
Yeah.
And so that is considered to some people a terrorist attack because it is a method of fear designed to scare a body of people. So based off of that definition, that would be a terrorist attack. However, that is, if you zoom out of that whole situation, the history behind the noose and history behind all that, the idea of the noose being on a campus plays into the fact that in America, most people of color were hung because they were just black or doing whatever they do.
No, I get that,
and that's the thing I'm trying to hit at. It's not the fact that the people like on the north side or south side don't like each other. It's the fact that the culture and perceived fear and something they think is bad for them but really isn't. It's like me saying like I don't like broccoli because I just honestly don't like broccoli, but I don't like broccoli because it looks weird and I never tasted it before. But if I eat it and I realize it's good, like, oh man, this is great. Yeah. But I would never...
I'm the same way with sushi. I've never ate sushi and I never will.
Right.
When raw, the taste of raw... I'm not even a fish person.
But you never had it before.
I've never had sushi. I've had fish and I don't like fish.
Right, well that's different.
So I'm like, if I don't like fish, why would I like it non-cooked?
So that's a perceived threat. You don't know because you haven't experienced. And so you apply that same principle to these other places with the noose, with the noose, or with Orlando, or with all these other issues that are going on in the country. These are perceived threats that play into the overall fear that the people think they have.
Okay.
Fear is learned. I
think. Okay.
It has to be learned because you don't.
And that's why you're afraid of the unknown.